My name is Ethan Parks. My project is Tower Defense. It's a game where enemies enter the screen on one side, follow a path, and exit the screen on the other side. Users place towers along the path to attack the enemies and keep them from reaching the other side. We see here an enemy following the path and reaching the other side of the screen. We can place a tower here, which will attack the enemy as it gets closer. We can upgrade the tower and allow the projectiles to have a slowing effect. And we can undo and redo the slowing effect and the tower placement. The code is divided into model view and controller folders. The controller folder holds the code for the controllers as well as the command design pattern. The main controller class implements all of the listeners for the user input, sets up the model and the view as well as the user command object, sets itself as the listeners, sets the update function to be called every time delta t time passes. The update function updates the model and then draws the result. And here we have the code for responding to user input. We have the command class, which is the interface for the command design pattern. Add tower, which is a command which adds the tower, allows that to be executed and undone. We have the upgrade tower command, which allows the tower to be upgraded when executed and allows that to be undone. And we have the user commands object, which handles the undo and redo stack. We have the tower edit controller, which is the editor or the controller for the tower edit window. And we have the time controller, which calls the update function every time the timer goes off. In the models folder, we have all of the files for tracking the data in the backend. This includes the different types of projectile decorators. These are added onto the projectile to give them different effects when they explode. We have the data for all of the enemies, as well as the functionality to move them and update their position. We have a mobile class, which is extended by the classes that actually have to move across the screen. We have the main model function, which holds all of the towers, the enemies, and the path. And this is where all of the data is updated every time the timer goes off. We have the plane projectile for the decorator design pattern. We have the abstract projectile for the decorator design pattern. The decorator class, and the tower class, which holds all the data for each tower. In the views folder, we have the game panel, which extends JPanel and allows for all of the drawing of the game. So we see draw path, draw the background, and draw the towers and enemies. The tower edit view file has the class for the view for the frame, which allows the user to upgrade the towers. And the main view class, which draws the main window. Left to do, I have to add this functionality for saving and loading games, saving high scores, and admin functionality to add currency and spawn new enemies. I still need to make different enemies and implement the pause functionality.